Monday's the 4th.
Okay.
Nath is going to retire at the end of the year. You guys all knew that. We're going to do a party for her around the 22nd of December. She's retiring after 25 years.
Woohoo.
And I think that's everything I had because I don't know where I put my list of what I was going to tell you today. But election stuff, that was the main thing.
Thank you. Okay. Treasurer, Ms. Ramos.
Good evening, treasurers. Commissioners, sorry. Okay, I have for you your June general fund cash balances. Your beginning cash balance is $6,552,730.91. Your ending cash balance is $6,197,560.82. Also, we've mailed out our 2025 tax bills last week, so we should start getting pretty busy here. Any questions? Okay, thank you.
Did you say we're live now?
There, but
Detention, Ms. Ramsey.
Chairman, that's my fault. She actually did not have a report for
Oh,
this
that's
time. I apologize.
Oh, no worries. We just ask, and if they're
Yeah.
not here, we just skip on by. How about Tasha with the Safety Committee?
Good evening, commissioners. After coming to the county commission a few months ago to request a budget for the safety committee, we realized you may not be aware that the county had a safety committee. So we voted to start giving a quarterly report to you guys. So I am here tonight to give you an update on a few things that we've been up to and hopefully answer some questions if you guys have any. The safety committee hosted a blood drive here in the parking lot August 1st with Vitalent out of Roswell. We had 20, our goal was 20 units, and we ended up receiving 26 units. Vitalent told us this helped save up to 78 lives. It was a great turnout. Our community did a wonderful job, and we really look forward to being able to do that again. We will have another fire drill here at the courthouse soon, late November, early December, hopefully. We're hoping to get some volunteers, maybe not at this fire drill, but maybe the next one. So we can do a more in-depth drill, kind of a mock trial or a mock hearing, something to practice getting jurors and lawyers and everybody out of the court. It's not really feasible to do that on a real hearing day, but it is something that needs to be practiced. Emergencies don't, wait for you to be slow or empty, and so it is important to be prepared in all cases. We are also due for an active shooter training. I believe we're supposed to have one every 2 years, and it is about that time to do that. Hopefully we can get that scheduled soon, and we'll be sure to let everybody know when that takes place because they do shoot blanks through the hallways and things like that. Clay Layer at the detention center, he's been doing a great job of getting new hires and current employees their defensive driving and CPR certifications. That's something all county employees need to have, the defensive driving, in order to operate county vehicles. So we've been grateful of him to help us keep up with that. And I just want to let you guys know all of our meetings are on the third Thursday of every month at 10 a.m. They're here in the commission room. They're fairly short and sweet, but we'd be happy for you guys to attend if you guys ever want to come check that out. I stand for any questions.
What time on Thursdays?
10 a.m.
On a third Thursday?
Third Thursday, yes, ma'am.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Did you say that we are live? Okay, because I got a text message from Eastern New Mexico News that we were not on. So. Okay, thank you. Moving on to healthcare, Ms. Weems.
I move we go into
Second.
Got a motion, a second to go into indigent. Commissioner Greider?
yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Motion carries. We're in indigent.
Good evening.
And this batch, we had a total of 6 claims for $18,182.55. I recommend approval of 3, $568.66. Total disapprove of $17,613.89. Fedco approved 1, $103.54. RGH approved 2, $465.12. Disapproved 2 claims at $16,767.89. One patient had Medicaid on the date of service, and the other patient was not an inmate, and not an indigent application was on file on that date of service. Concord Radiology approved 0, disapproved 1, $846. That patient also had Medicaid on the date of service. And on the agenda, there is an indigent burial, but I will not be requesting that at this time. I was notified by the funeral home yesterday that that invoice has been paid.
Make a motion to come out of indigent. Second.
Got a motion, a second to come out of indigent. Commissioner Munoz?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Motion carries. I'll entertain a motion to approve Carla's.
I'll make the motion. Second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Manager.
Good evening, commissioners. Just wanted to let you know we are going to be focusing on getting July through September balanced. We will have to have those done and finalized so we can end our first quarter and get that all reported to DFA by the end of October. I've been in contact with with San Juan Wind on their repower. We are in the process of negotiating the PILT and IRB terms with the developer team. We're postponing consideration of the IRB ordinance for that project until the county has an opportunity to negotiate those items, and a notice of intent to consider the San Juan Mesa repower will be published in advance of any of those considerations also. And then I believe the rest of mine is going to come later in the meeting, and I'll stand for any questions.
I got a call from Josh Fremmel at the San Juan Mesa.
Uh-huh.
I got one today.
Okay.
We had decided that we were going to get like a little committee together or work something to try to figure out, the stipulations and the things that we wanted included in that.
Right.
So we probably need to decide at some point what we're going to do with that. I can't remember if we decided who was going to be on that committee or not, but I can't remember. So we'll have to go back and look in the minutes and see if we did. I kind of think we did, but I can't remember for sure. So
Sure. Yeah. We'll do some investigating and find out what we have in the minutes on that and get back with you.
all right, thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was in contact with Peter Kelton
Uh-huh.
last week. He said, I had a school superintendent call me asking if I'm a pilot of this project anyway. And I was thinking that Peter informed me that they were slowing up he said we had some time.
We do.
He
Yes.
said that they were not just going on with the project, that they had been slowed up. They were slowing up and everything. And anyway, he said we had some time, but he said we are in the middle of negotiations. But I do know, like I said, I had a superintendent reach out to me about the PELT payments. And
Sure,
so,
yeah.
So anyway,
Yeah, we don't have final numbers on that.
right. That's what
I don't
told
even
him, and
know. I think prelim at
Yeah.
best. So
that's
but that's
you know,
then
like
our,
I said, we hadn't even decided nothing. That's kind of what. But anyway,
yeah, that's definitely on our horizon.
all right. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Can I interrupt? On the September 9th minutes I have in front of me because we just approved them. We talked about that IRB resolution, and it was not part of that discussion to choose who would handle negotiations.
Any committee or anything?
No, we didn't choose on September 9th.
Okay.
It
Might
could have
be
been
prior.
another meeting, but it was not on the September 9th meeting.
Well, that just helps me to know to not go there.
Okay, well, there you go.
Perfect.
Okay, thank you.
Are we gonna do this the same as the solar farm?
Yeah.
It's gonna, because it's gonna be based on output of those towers, right?
It should be more. There should
Well, they're
be
gonna
more-
come
there-
at us with an initial offer, right?
Right, they should, but it ought to be, there ought to be more of a payment coming off per megawatt as a solar.
Sure.
Sure.
Commissioners,
Nothing here.
Mr. Criswell?
Since Juan's here, I was just gonna say, we got harvest coming up, and I got a phone call from a cotton gin owner over at Morton.
Okay.
I sent you that text of some rows just now, and that's one that was from, okay? Anyway,
We got her on the list. So.
yeah, that last rain, I know it did wash some roads back in that southeast side of the county.
We'll get it taken care of.
Yeah.
I got a call from Ron Scott, and from what I understand, you've had calls from him or the former commissioner also had calls. And then I just got a call before the meeting started from Senator Boone that he had also called him on Road H and a half.
It's
H and a half. So what is the deal with that road? Is it, from what I understand, I don't know. He is saying the road was bad. Some people are saying it's not. I was just curious to know.
It's got some potholes in it.
Uh-huh.
After they hauled manure and stuff, they usually beat it out pretty good.
Okay,
We had gone in there and bladed it before that. And then they hauled them big old 3-axle trailers through there. And boy, they
Right.
put a beating to it. So I talked to him yesterday. I told him I'll try and get somebody there by this, maybe tomorrow or today or tomorrow, but it
Okay.
happened today. So,
so he called you yesterday?
yeah, he called me.
Because he called me yesterday, but then he called Senator Boone today, so,
Yeah, he was asking for, if we could put it on the list later on down the road for chip seal. And I told him hauling them big old trailers like that,
right,
they're gonna tear it up, So
okay.
maybe we'll put it on projects for next year, for 27.
That's gonna be under the road use agreement for the solar farm too, though, isn't it?
I believe so, but I think the solar farm's gonna be using 2 more than any of them.
Right. I just remember looking at that road specifically whenever we looked at that, or we talked about that, and I thought H and a half was gonna be on.
It's in there, yeah, but I don't know how much they're gonna travel this way. So.
I also invited him to come up to our road use workshop. When we have a road workshop, I also invited him to come to a road workshop because, roads can change, but we have to know, and then we can get it on if it's something like that. And then all of the commissioners will hear, what it is. So I had suggested that to him as well.
It's always just, heavy trucks, and then for harvest or whatever, they'll beat it out, and then we go in there and kind of repair it, and it lasts a little while, and then we're back at it again. So,
Okay, and he had mentioned harvest as well. So, and I've talked to you several times. That seems to be what everybody's doing right now. So everybody's wanting it done quickly so they can get their combines down the road. So, okay, thank you.
you bet, thank you.
I just was told earlier that the night out with law enforcement EMS went really well the other night. You guys were standing out above everybody else and engaging the crowd, and I just wanted to say thank you guys for that.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yep.
Hope it keeps growing every year.
And Juan,
Mhm.
can't get away from any of us, can you? The west end of 8, right there when it comes to 88, is that more narrow than further east?
It is, because that ditch is pretty deep right there. So we're looking at that. We might have to add a little more caliche and widen it up. So,
I was just curious if you was going to or not. It seems to get pretty tight
Yeah,
right
it
down
kinda
there at that
goes.
last mile.
right.
All right, that's all I have.
You got nothing?
Sheriff.
Juan?
Go ahead.
I guess Saturday we had an incident, a little deal going on up here at the parking lot here at the courthouse. I've had a lot of phone calls about, and
I'm glad you brought that up.
I am all about the First Amendment. Everybody expressing their First Amendment rights, but I am very against the vulgarity, the obscenities, and the loudness. Because I do know that there is an ordinance in the city and the county about noise ordinance. And so, and when it's disturbing our businesses here in town, there's a problem. Now, if people want to protest, if they want to march up down the sidewalks, I don't care. But the vulgarities, the profanities, and the ridiculeness, it's got to stop. And whether we need to put something in ordinance for our law enforcement to take care of stuff like that.
Well, to clarify, there is no county ordinance for noise. I believe Commissioner Parker tried to set one last year and it was voted down. So the city ordinance.
So
for noise-
there is no city, I mean, there is no county ordinance on noise.
And the city
Okay.
ordinance for them to do the protest, I can't speak for whether this happened. I assume they did. But they have to get like a license or a permit through the city.
Yes, and
Right.
they got permission through the county.
For the mic.
Can you go?
Oh,
So we, yeah.
was I not yelling
So-
loud enough?
No, sir.
Yeah, sorry. I assume they got their permit because they had city PD out there with them, but there's not a county noise ordinance. But again, Mr. Parker proposed one last year and it didn't go anywhere.
So what can we do about the vulgarities? If it's going to take place on county property, what can we do about the profanities and vulgarness
It didn't take
and
place.
stuff like that? What can we do, Randall, about that?
Madam Chair, Commissioner, as much as I dislike the vulgarity and the profanity and the ridicule, it's protected speech.
Okay.
It simply is.
Even when it's harming somebody's business, there were people
Well,
literally
The
driving.
noise,
past
we can
businesses.
we can regulate noise. We can regulate time, place, and manner of these types of demonstrations. So we can regulate noise. We can regulate how close they are to businesses. We can regulate and prohibit the use of microphones or amplification devices, things like that. But as much as I'd like to tell them they can't swear, we can't do
How do you
that.
regulate that?
But I would also like to say that during this as well, I realize that the parking lot is county property, but the sidewalk that they're standing on is city. So that wouldn't even fall under our ordinances
Wouldn't
anyway.
even fall
So
under our
it wouldn't
jurisdiction.
be something we should even, that we would even be able to do anything about, if I'm not mistaken. Is
That's
that
true.
correct?
Now, if you'd like me to put together a noise ordinance, I'd be happy to do that. But noise ordinances are notoriously difficult to defend. They're subjective unless you put a specific decibel level, and then you have to have somebody out there with a device to measure it. I mean, it can be done, but it's, excuse me, it's notoriously inconsistent.
And there's some state law verbiage about protests that allow for a little bit in the road and sidewalk, which isn't really our thing anyway. But if you're trying to keep them out of the parking lot, I don't know that there's not, maybe there's a restriction, or maybe the county could put in some sort of a permit regulation for that. But I would note, because I had to talk to a few people about this too, this parking lot is open all the time, and people park in this parking lot to go to these businesses, which is cool. I've done it multiple times. So I don't know if we would find ourselves in a situation where, if we're going to limit just parking for that kind of thing, that we would then have to shut the parking lot down outside of business hours. I don't know. That might become an issue.
Right, I agree.
I'm for regulating it at least. So if you could figure out a way, do we do that through a resolution or what? Saying the county property will not be used for any type of political protest.
Well, I don't think we can do that,
Yeah,
but
we
I
can't
think
do
we
that.
can,
Okay.
we
I
can,
don't
we
think so.
can license county property. We can issue permits for those types of things if we
We
want
have
to
permits
get
now,
into
right?
that business,
Yeah.
but
If-
that's a lot of, regulatory
Yeah, we already have permits.
pre-
now.
pressure for you folks.
Okay, if we do something like that though, and like your county property, like the county fairgrounds, that will also include any concerts going on at the county fairgrounds. That's going to, county property. Am I correct or am I, or not? Or right?
There can certainly be some unintended consequences to painting this with too broad a brush. And I would think that maybe a first step would be to
Yes.
put together a noise ordinance and see if that works to begin with. If that doesn't work, then we can take more,
But again, that
aggressive
wouldn't
steps.
affect, a noise ordinance that we did is not really going to do anything for that because it's in the city limits. So even if we did a noise ordinance, unless they were standing out there or they were standing in the parking lot, would be the only thing. And then all they would have to do is step up on the sidewalk. So a noise ordinance, and then once we enforce, this is just my opinion, y'all,
Mhm.
but once we enforce one ordinance, that just snowballs for everything else. And then we're starting to tread not only onto people's First Amendment right, but then we're starting to tread into private property rights and what somebody can do on their property and things like that. And as much as I don't like certain noise and I don't like the vulgarity, I don't like the fact that it runs off business. I don't like a lot of the things about it, but that is people's legal right to do. But I don't want to start trying to tell people what to do on their property or
I'm against that.
anything like that. I don't want to do that.
Yeah, hence my statement about unintended consequences. There could,
And like I said, I just want to voice my opinion.
Sure.
As a county commissioner, that I was very disappointed in the vulgarities of that deal that happened on Saturday. The disrespect, put signs up with profanity on them where people of all ages was able to see it. We're better than that, folks.
Yep.
We're better than that. And so, I don't know. Like I said, we're kind of a dang if you do and dang if you don't type of situation. And,
yes, sir.
and it's, but it was on my mind. I had to say something about it because I do know I had some phone calls and it affected some businesses. And I know those business owners, they didn't like it at all. But I am all for the First Amendment rights, but I'm also for respecting everybody too in their voicing. So
I
anyway,
think everybody up here agrees on that. Nobody's trying to stop this from taking place. They're just trying to help the businesses best they can and to keep it clean, if you will. So
Right. Yeah. I just think we all need to work on things and this country just needs to find respect again.
all right, let's move on.
So that's all for you commissioners?
Yes.
Item 5, old business, discussion and possible action on behavioral health regional infrastructure act funding opportunity. Ms. Sanchez.
Yes, Chair. At our last meeting, we wanted to get a little more information on the behavioral health. And in the meantime, I have had a few meetings, and the last time when I brought this before you, they had, when I say they, the behavioral health and Curry County had received only, the award was $45,000. Now it's been increased to $60,000. And the 25% of that, which we share, the 25% match, that brings that up to $15,000. We can stick with our original request to split the $12,000 in cash with Curry County and pay our portion of 6,000. The remaining 3,000 can be what is called in kind. And they were explaining to me that what we could look at as in kind is if we looked at if Judge Maurer maybe spent some time working with the behavioral health, we can take her salary and whatever portion of hours she worked, that can go towards the in-kind portion. And we do have, or we have promised to use our opioid funds for this. And they are wanting to, this section of money that they're asking for is to realign or update their feasibility study so that it matches more of what the grant funding is looking for. And I'll stand for any questions if you have more on that. And
Where did Judge Maurer stand on that? How did she feel about any of that? Have you talked to her about it?
I did not, she was on the meeting and I did not specifically talk to her about, and I just used, I mean, we could use, say, detention director Ramsey. We could use her salary. I don't think the health council, because they're separate from us, but as an example.
I think we found that out last week.
We did. And so I hope that that helps you understand a little bit more of their ask for what this money is for, is to help this section of money that they're asking for is to update that feasibility study, I believe, so they get more funding so that their grant aligns more with what they're asking
Well,
for.
since this went up from the last one, is it going to go up again? And then we're going to be asked again for more, or is it going to lock us into doing more again, or?
No, it would not lock you into doing more because this is specifically speaking of just this one particular item. And of course, we didn't designate an amount. I haven't found that we have designated a certain amount of our opioid funds, but we do have a significant amount of opioid funds that we have not expended.
Okay.
So
So what is the total amount that they're asking for? 15?
Is it 16,000 and then
Our
3 in
part.
kind?
okay, so our total is 15.
Okay.
And then we're splitting, let's say this was an option of the 12,000, we would send 6,000 and Curry would send 6. So our togetherness on that makes the 12. And then the other 3, like the 1,500, we would split the other 3,000 to make up that difference. So ours could be 1,500 of a salary.
So what is our total amount that we're going to send in cash? 6,000.
Correct.
Okay.
One time.
That's,
One time 6,000?
well,
I mean, one time for
this
this,
one.
yes.
Okay. Okay.
Unfortunately,
Okay.
I don't know what the future of this ask might be because we have agreed to
Right.
to go in partnership with the
Okay.
behavioral health.
How much is in the opioid deal?
It's right around 400 and something thousand. I can't remember exactly, but I know it's 400 something.
I can't think of better things to spend that money on.
I agree. I
Right.
agree. I know that we do some expenses through the MAP program, but I don't think that their expenses would deplete that 400,000.
So we need to make a motion to go ahead and just withdraw the $6,000 of cash out of the opioid fund, right? To pay this,
It doesn't have
How
to.
would we word this?
I just make a motion to approve
that we are.
6,000.
Yes.
Not to pull it out of a certain fund?
We don't need, we've already done that in the past, so we don't need to designate that that's where this is going to have to come from.
Well, I'll make that motion. 6,000.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Commissioner Greider?
Yes.
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 Motion carries. Item 6. Carla, it was brought to us, can we approve A through C altogether?
Yes, it's all the same thing.
It's all the same thing.
Just different money.
Randall, would that be fine if we just do those 3 together?
You probably should have grouped them as a consent agenda, but I suppose if you make a appropriate and complete motion, yes.
Okay. Do you want to talk about all of them? Do you have extra special stuff on each one of them?
There's not. Good evening again. This is basically the same resolution that we entered into to accept the LGRF grant. It's just a safety measure, just in case we can't get it done by December 30th of 2025. And so it's just pushing it back 1 year.
Okay. So it's the CAPS, the co-op, and the school bus.
The school bus. Mhm.
We will,
Make that motion to approve.
all 3 of them.
ABC.
CAPS, co-op, and school
A,
bus.
B, and C. Great idea.
Got a motion and a second. Commissioner Munoz?
Yes.
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 Motion
Who made the
carries.
second? You seconded?
Thank you.
Thank you. We're trying to make it easy on you, Carla. Okay, item 6D, request for approval of resolution 2025-35 to increase the budget for the purpose of capital expenditure. Mr. Parker.
I make a motion to approve resolution 2023-35 to increase the budget for the purpose of capital expenditure.
Second.
I got a motion and a second. Anybody have any discussion?
How much are we going to?
How much are we talking about? 100,000. Huh? The 100,000 that we voted on last meeting? That's right, correct? That was what I read?
No, so you would need to be choosing which,
I think so. We got to choose which.
there's
track.
2 tractors that you've proposed,
Right,
We
but you
didn't-
wrote on the resolution just 100,000, so,
up to,
okay.
so that it would include which option, because one tractor was a little less and then the other one was a little more. The last ones we didn't approve because they had already expired, remember?
Mhm.
So
But
that's
we
why we're,
voted to do a budget adjustment in the last meeting, or go start the process, the resolution and budget,
that's what this is, yes.
and those quotes were in y'all's packet.
One for 6,100 or the 5,100 and 6,120.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to let y'all decide on that tractor thing. Which one y'all think?
I'm going ahead.
You what?
I'm ready to go ahead.
Okay, I got a motion and a second. Commissioner Greider?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
Yes.
motion carries.
Mainly wanted to know how much is for what, but now I know. I wasn't here last.
Oh,
last
up to
meeting.
100,000.
Oh, I forgot. I
Okay.
apologize,
Know
Paul.
what you was talking
I
about.
apologize. I forgot you left a little bit early.
Okay. So, we've got media communication. They're not here.
I was checking to see if I had anything online.
And we can check back with them when we get finished if we
Don't see
want.
anything.
The only thing I had was when they had asked if we were online. Okay. So at this time, we are going to go into an executive session pursuant to 10-15-1 NMSA 1978 H2 for the purpose of discussing the appointment of a county manager and approval of a manager's contract and discussing the CFO position. With that, I will stand for a motion to go into executive session.
I'll make the
Second,
Got a motion, a second to go into executive session. Commissioner Greider?
yes.
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 Motion carries at 6:36. No, 6:41, sorry.
It says 6:41.
6:41.
And all 5,
Yes.
We're going to have 5 commissioners and the attorney first.
Oh, yeah. It's a little writing.
Don't run off.
It's great.